Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain for You. Today's topic is going to be, is TMS a distraction, a reaction, or a message? We're just basically talking TMS theory here. So I'll get to that in a minute. Let you enjoy the, I think it's called a hibiscus tree back there, or forsythia. I think forsythia. Anyway, let's take a nice couple of deep breaths. Breathe in the peace, exhale the noise. Love listening to the birds, they're back. Breathe in the clarity, exhale the uncertainty. Breathe in the bravery, exhale the fear. So, is TMS a distraction, a reaction, or a message? You know, there's some debate in the TMS community, in the mind-body community, about the whole distraction theory. You know, is Sarno right? He perceived that the pain was created by the subconscious brain to distract us from these overwhelming, scary, and even dangerous emotions that didn't fit with our self-image. And so, he very well could be right. I'm not here to say Dr. Sarno is wrong. Who the heck would I be to say that? But what I am suggesting is, I don't know how we can prove that he's right. Pain certainly serves as a distraction, for sure. A very useful one. Because when you have chronic pain, especially severe chronic pain, boy, it certainly serves as a distraction. We can't think of much else. And we're not too worried about what else is going on in our life when we're bowled over in pain and can't get up off of the bed or off the couch or whatever we're doing. So yes, it serves as a distraction, but is that the actual motive of the brain? Did the brain actually go, hey, boys, come on, we need something to protect him from those scary emotions? I don't know, how about a distraction? Yeah, but what would distract him? How about some pain? I don't know that we've got a conniving, thinking, scheming, and planning part of our brain that comes up with these concepts. So again, it serves as a distraction. And the fact that when we learn to feel our emotions safely without judgment, sometimes the pain will dissipate. That theory does hold water. So that's the distraction theory. Now, I'm going to jump to the message, because some people say, you know, the body is trying to send us a message. What is the body saying by giving us headaches, neck aches, back aches, glute pain, or whatever it may be? Does a headache mean that something in your life makes your head want to explode? Who's a pain in your neck and causing neck pain? You know, glute pain. Who's a pain in your ass? You know what I mean? We can look for a message all day long. And these two theories are wonderful because, you know, sometimes it will lead us to the right answer. It will say, yeah, wow, didn't realize. Going through a divorce, a grandparent died, really stressed out, money problems, job problems, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden within, you know, a certain period of time, whammo, my back went out, quote unquote. And so sometimes it's good to connect the dots to life events. But what's the answer? Let's say you do figure out that, okay, your pain is as a result of overwhelming, stressful life events, the heavy emotions that come along with those things. What's the answer? Well, I know plenty of people who have felt, done the emotional discovery, all the emotional work, journaling, psychotherapy, and all sorts of stuff, and they felt, and yet their pain still hasn't gone away. So I'm not convinced that finding this long-lost, repressed emotion is the answer. And if it is, it's not the only answer. So, is it a distraction? Perhaps. Is it a message? Perhaps. The challenge with that is, as long as you are still experiencing symptoms, the only logical conclusion you can come to is, I must be missing the message or the repressed emotion. So I got to keep looking and keep digging. And we can spend days, weeks, months, years digging for these long-lost emotions or this mystical message that the brain's trying to convince us of. And I will say this. I think there's some other things that matter. Perhaps there is a message to be learned. Perhaps there is, some emotional work to be done. But if you've already done the emotional work and you can't seem to find a message, then the middle ground, which is what I'll suggest next, is where I think sometimes the real gold lies. So, is it a distraction, a message, or perhaps a reaction? And Dr. Schubner speaks of this. He talks about how the body the central nervous system can become more and more sensitized. And this happens through our life's experience. You watch your parents fight at 3 years old. Nervous system just got a little bit more sensitive. Then something else happens. Then your siblings pick on you. Then you get mean kids at school. You get made fun of or bullied, or something happens bad. Parents get divorced. You get the sense of abandonment, like your parents aren't really there for you. And any number of things that are perceived as insults or hurts, emotional hurts, physical hurts, abuses, whether it be physical, sexual, or what have you. All of these things do one thing really well. They teach your brain, which is the control center for your whole nervous system, they teach your brain to get more and more sensitive and more vigilant. And so what ends up happening is we have this acute onset of TMS. In my case, I bent over to put on my underwear and whammo, major back spasm, started 13 years of pain. Now that was no true injury, although I kind of thought it was for a while until I learned about TMS. And as I look back, I realized that I had a lot of stuff going on in my life at the time. Young kid, stressful job, long commute, money problems, was in a rental, all sorts of things. And the overall message that I had in my brain was, how the heck did I get here? How did this become my life? And it wasn't that my life was horrible, but it wasn't kind of what I thought it was going to be or should have been. And so I had this back pain when I bent over. And that started this long journey of getting medicalized and falling into the trap and needing to fix it and getting frustrated. I made every mistake in the book over the next 12 years. Even after I found out about Sarno, I still didn't get better. I made every mistake in the book. And so I think the reaction, this highly sensitive, highly vigilant nervous system, is absolutely in play. Is it the only thing? No. But I think it's absolutely part of it. Because when the nervous system is so vigilant, a normal sensation like sitting on a chair could be perceived as dangerous, and the brain's going to go, what? Here's your pain. And so it's really important for us to understand that even if you've done the emotional discovery and you still think there's more work to do, that's fine, keep doing it. But don't do it to the exception of not teaching your brain to settle down. Because once you calm the brain down, by default, the nervous system is going to calm down as well. And these are some of the concepts I teach each and every day. I talk about accurate knowledge, because without the accurate knowledge of what this mind-body stuff is, it's going to be really hard to teach the brain to settle down. Acceptance that this is the only thing that's causing your pain, right? If you still think it's physical, your brain's not going to turn down this hypervigilance and turn off the pain. So those are foundational. Teach yourself that emotions are safe. Why? Because so you can feel them as a normal person. And not avoid them. Because if you run away from emotions, that's another danger signal. It's going to keep your brain and nervous system on high alert. Right? So be aware of your emotional state. Feel them. Be aware of your physical state. Breathe in, relax your body. Be aware of your mental state. Don't take your thinking so seriously. Be indifferent to the symptoms, because it's TMS, right? Be indifferent to them because you know that your body's actually not in in crisis. It feels that way for sure, but you're not actually broken. And then shift your attention as much as possible towards living your life. And so is it a distraction, a reaction, a message? I'll say maybe, maybe, maybe. Or I'll say maybe it's a distraction. It's definitely a reaction, a heightened vigilance in the nervous system. And is it a message? Maybe. I'm not here to debate which of these theories matters or which of these theories you agree with, because I've gotten into debates over the years with people who say, but if it's a reaction in the body, how come this happens? How can you explain the symptom imperative? How can you explain this or that? And we can debate theory all day long. And the core message here is it a distraction, a reaction, a message? My answer to that is, doesn't matter what you believe. The key point is to teach your brain that you're okay so it can settle everything down. Whether the motive or the original intent of the pain was to distract you, who knows? I don't think we'll ever be able to scientifically tell that that was the original intent of the pain, to distract you. All right? Was it a message? How do you know if you've ever got the right message? Well, as long as you've got symptoms, you're going to think, I'm missing the message. It's a little bit of a trap. So is the emotional side of it. Because as long as you still have symptoms, you're going to think, I got to do more emotional discovery because I must be missing some traumatic thing from 3rd grade that's really the cause of all this stuff. Personally, I don't think you're in pain because of something that happened in 3rd grade, for example. But you may very well be in pain because of a nervous system that is highly sensitized and is highly vigilant, and normal sensations are being perceived as dangerous, and the brain's only response to danger is to turn on pain to stop you, to get you to, hey, whatever you're doing, stop it. Turn that down. Don't do that anymore. Right? And so, if you'd like to debate about the purpose of TMS, the motive of the brain, whether it's created in the subconscious, in the nervous system, whether it be a message from the body, have at it. But I'm here to tell you, I don't think it matters what your belief system says. Any and all of those work. But don't forget the middle ground, which is that need to teach the brain and thereby the nervous system to get out of fight or flight, to become less and less hypervigilant and start to settle down. Because when the brain gets the message that you're okay, things will settle down, and they'll settle down nicely. How do I know? Past 11 years, been pain-free. This stuff works, folks. So try not to get too tied up in the understanding the theory behind it. Understanding is a good thing. Let's say this. Don't get caught up in the debate. Is it a distraction? What's it distracting me from? If you can find a connection, great. If you can't, move to the middle ground, which is the reaction, the nervous system that needs to be settled down. If you can't find a message, okay, no big deal. Right? So hopefully this helps. I just really wanted to talk a little bit about the TMS theories, the concepts behind it. I'm more in line with Dr. Schubner that it's a highly sensitive nervous system responding to danger signals, turning on the pain. And if it can learn to turn on the pain and keep it persistent, we can teach it to unlearn that. And the pain can go away. I'm evidence. And believe it or not, lots of people in my group and YouTube channel, lots of people are starting to get better as a result of implementing this different way of thinking about their bodies, their brain, their nervous system, and teaching the brain through being calm and finding joy that they're actually okay. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, give you another look at the yellow plant behind me, Forsythia, and I'm going to wrap it up. I guess we'll see you guys and gals tomorrow. Love you.